We tested 7 lights in our study here just to see how our lights compare to theirs. Here are the 7 different lights. This is light A. Source, we don't really know where it comes from. The website doesn't say. Warranty doesn't have one, and you can have an extended warranty for $39. Light B is made in China. Well, there isn't a warranty. Light C is made in China. There also is not a warranty. Light D is also made in China. Also no warranty. Light E is also made in China. Also no warranty. Then you have the Xactlite version 2, made in the United States, has a 1-year warranty unconditional. Then you have the Xactlite Pro, which has a 1-year warranty, made in the United States, and a 90-day battery warranty. All right, our first test is going to be a max perpendicular brightness level. We're going to test all 7 different lights with a light located on a box with a light meter underneath it. So our first light is going to be light A. The light appears to be reddish white, but in person it's white. It's just a clipping filter on the video. So we're going to go and test it. We're going to try to test every light the same manner. We're going to do a circular fashion followed by an X. And we're going to get the max lux for each one, which is 155.7 on this light. Light B, there's no light indicator. I don't know if it doesn't work or what, but there's nothing that shows, but it was charging for 4 hours. We're going to do the same pattern. And we're at the max lux of 88.2 on this light. Okay, now we got light C, which takes 2 batteries, which is kind of interesting knowing how LEDs work, but we're gonna give it a go. And here we go, we're gonna do the same patterns. We're gonna check some max lux, which is honestly quite high. We don't understand that right at this moment, but just 2012 max lux. All right, now we have light D. Turn it on, same pattern. We're gonna get a max lux of 191.4. Now, next up is light E. All right, also charged. Turn it on. Same pattern, looking for max brightness. Max brightness comes out to be 498.6 on this light. Now we have the Xactlite version 2. We have 3 batteries. We're going to install them. Just the same batteries we put in light C. Turn it on, do brightness tests. We're also going to find out the max lux is 229.05, so 2,905. Okay, now we're going to do the max Xactlite Pro. Turn it on. Everything's in kilolux, so it's a point. So it's 21,300 lux on the Xactlite Pro. All right, so now we're going to compare all the lights, max lux at perpendicular brightness. So third place comes in light C at 2012. Second place comes at Xactlite V2, 2,905, and Xactlite Pro is 21,300. All right, now we're going to do a max brightness test. So let's see how bright the LEDs are. All right, so light A, we got a max lux of 938.3. We're going to try to keep the patterns consistent and timing consistent. Okay, we got light B of 3,180 lux. Kind of a weird color, but all right, now we got light C of 4,603 lux. Now we have light D of 2,243 lux. And light E of 8,552 lux. Then we got Xactlite version 2 with a max lux of 9,413. Then they got the Xactlite Pro with a max lux of 32,000 even. All right, now we're going to compare the results. So in third place, we got light E at 8,552 lux. We have Xactlite V2 in second place at 9,413 lux, and Xactlite Pro at 32,000 lux. All right, so now we're going to move on and test the max magnet strength from the hanging weight of each light. All right, first up is light A. How we're going to do this, we're going to use 1/4-inch pieces of plastic along with an 1/8-inch plastic to get the max magnet gap. All right, so for light A, looks like we have 3/4-inch there. Won't quite do 7/8. Yep, no 7/8. So the air gap on light A is going to be 3/4 of an inch. All right, now we move on to light B. Okay, we got 5/8 there. It'll do 5/8. 3/4. No, won't do 3/4. So it looks like 5/8 is going to be the max on light B. Okay, now we're going to move on to light C. We got a 1/2 inch there. I'm sorry, we have 5/8 there. Now we have 1/2 inch. Barely does 1/2 inch, just barely. Yeah, 1/2 inch air gap. All right, so now we're on to light E, or I'm sorry, D. It will not do a 1/2 inch, it looks like. All right, so now we're down to 3/8. And the light will accomplish a 3/8 gap. All right, now we're on the light E. See if it can do 3/4. Will not do 3/4. Will it do half? It does do half. Will it do 5/8? Will not do 5/8, so it's a 1/2 inch gap. Okay. All right, now we're going to move on. Now we have the Xactlite V2, just showing you there's batteries in it, so we have the full weight. All right, we have the 1 inch there. Does 1 inch. We'll do 1 1/8. Just barely won't do 1 1/8. So 1 inch air gap on the Xactlite V2. All right, now we're going to move on to the Xactlite Pro. All right, we got 1 inch there. We'll do 1 inch. It does 1 inch. We'll do 1 1/8. That's 1 1/4. It's definitely probably not going to work. Yep. 1 1/8. Nope, we'll not do 1 1/8. So 1 inch gap on the Xactlite Pro as well. All right, for max magnet strength, we have 2 first place winners, so there's only 1 second place winner. In second place comes in at light A with 0.75 air gap, and then Xactlite V2 and Xactlite Pro taking the first place for the strongest magnets. All right, now we're going to rate each light on how well it is to take the light efficiency of each LED and direct it towards our eyes, how efficient each waveguide or reflector is to us. All right, in third place, we have the Xactlite V2 at 30%, 31% efficient. In second place, we have the Sleeper, which is the Light C at 43%. And in first place, we have the Xactlite Pro at 66% efficient. All right, now we're going to go into the other functionalities of each light a little more in depth. All right, so the approximate color temperature that we feel is the correct temperature is 6,500 degrees Kelvin, which we feel is the best color temperature for seeing through window film. There are 2 different lights that fall outside this window, light B and light D. Light B is a lot more purplish in color, probably not the best color for our applications, and light D is also probably a little too yellow for our application, as a lot of film has deep dark purples and brown hues that will block that color a lot more efficiently than say 6500 Kelvin. As far as car applications go, we believe felt is the right gliding material. PTFE slides really great, but you're eventually going to pick up a rock or a piece of sand and scratch glass or film, which is why we default to felt and believe it's the correct choice. As far as reflectors go, there's across the board, everyone using acrylic, we use PETG. Acrylic is very heavy and brittle. If you drop it, you're probably going to break it. PETG does not break really easily at all. The other problem with acrylic is that it side loads the tool. It changes the center mass of the tool, making it very tippy when you're grinding on something, which will make disconnects happen a lot more frequently than our PETG. Also, PETG is very flexible. So when you're grinding on something, it gives you feedback and lets you know that you're grinding on something before you possibly disconnect the tool. There's lots of other things that could be talked about here, but most of the other batteries, rechargeables, are running around 400 milliamp hours for the other lights. Our Xactlite Pro is using 1500 milliamp hour batteries. If you have one of these other lights and it's not taking about 3 hours to charge, you're probably cooking your battery, and just understand the battery life is going to be a lot less than what it should be. You have to charge at 0.3 C, which is the capacity of the battery. Xactlite Pro is going to take 3 to 4 hours to charge if you fully discharge it. Xactlite Pro battery is going to last you approximately probably 2 weeks if you use it every day, multiple times a day. All right, thanks for taking this journey with us. If you have any questions or comments, please just drop them in the comment section, like, share. If you have any questions, like I said, let us know. Before we go here, I'm just going to show you the other lights here where they're all on. Some lights look a lot brighter when they're not on next to them, so you can take a look at this picture here and see what this picture needs. These are all fully charged right after the test. I just sat next to each other and took this video. We appreciate your time, and thank you. Have a great day. All right, I know all you are wondering why C got disqualified. Well, when I first saw the numbers, I thought something weird was going on because you need above 3 volts to get a white LED to function properly. And with two 1.5 volt batteries, the most you can get in series is 3 volts, and you still need overhead for a resistor to limit the current through the actual LEDs themselves. In this test here, I'm showing you that they actually installed the resistor in the wrong portion of the circuit board. So the resistor is not actually doing anything other than killing your battery faster. So you're actually direct shorting out the battery itself. This is how they have it wired in the circuit. This is wrong. So pretty much, like I said, the resistor is jumping across the anode and cathode of the LED, which is not the way it's supposed to be, meaning the actual LED is getting short circuited out. This is the proper way, where you're supposed to put the current limiting resistor after the LED in a series chain. What this does is it limits the current going through the LED, since the LED does not have the ability to limit current on itself. So then what really happens is the battery itself becomes the resistor or current limiting device. So the battery puts out as much current as the battery can until it stabilizes at a much lower current, and which will make the light very dim, which is what we experienced before we did test, before we used the brand new batteries. This is why we disqualified it.